Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and welcome to the House of Mouse headlines for the week of July 19th, 2020, brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. In this week's news, delayed projects and closed attractions at Walt Disney World, a new gig for one Disney exec, a release date for Don Hahn's Howard Ashman documentary, and more, so let's get to it.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Sadly, this week we lost 3 people with notable ties to the Walt Disney Company. First, following an extensive search, the body of 33-year-old Naya Rivera was found in Lake Peru on Monday, with the actress seemingly dying of accidental drowning. In addition to her breakout role as Santana Lopez on the hit Fox show Glee, Naya also appeared on shows like ABC's Family Matters, Disney Channel's Even Stevens, and many more. Tragically, word of her passing came exactly 7 years after her former co-star Corey Monteith died. Also on Monday night, we learned that Grant Imahara had passed away at the age of 49. Recognizable to fans of the show Mythbusters, Grant also worked as an industrial light and magic modeler and animatronics technician who contributed to all 3 Star Wars prequels. In a statement from ILM, the company said, "We're still processing and likely will be for some time. Grant was an amazing talent and forever an ILMer. Tonight, our thoughts are with his family and friends." Finally, after a battle with breast cancer, famed actress Kelly Preston died at age 57 earlier this week. Among her many Disney credits were films like Sky High and The Last Song, as well as Old Dogs, which she starred in with her husband, John Travolta. My thoughts are with the friends and families of all 3 of these amazing talents during this difficult time. When Epcot reopened to guests this week, some fans noticed that some changes had been made to the film that plays within the Epcot Experience Preview Center. Namely, sections discussing the Spaceship Earth refurbishment and Mary Poppins attraction were removed. Sure enough, Disney later confirmed that it is postponing development on both projects. While this doesn't necessarily mean that we won't see either come to fruition, it does currently seem unlikely, as Disney will instead focus on projects that have already begun construction. This is a major bummer, as these were both pretty exciting projects coming to Epcot, but we'll just have to wait and see. In other park news, Walt Disney World has also confirmed the permanent closure of 3 attractions. The first is not a surprise, as Stitch's Great Escape has been unavailable to Magic Kingdom guests for some time. Nevertheless, Disney has still said the attraction could remain on their seasonal schedule before announcing its permanent demise this week. Meanwhile, at Disney's Animal Kingdom, it's been announced that Primeval Whirl and Rivers of Light, We Are One, will not return. Rumors had been circulating that Primeval Whirl would close for good after it was excluded from the park map upon reopening, but fans might be surprised by the removal of Rivers of Light. Although Disney said they didn't have any creative updates to share at this time, hopefully we'll get to hear more about what plans they have for these areas sometime down the road. As Walt Disney World continues its phased reopenings, the resort has announced that it has increased park pass availability for annual pass holders. Currently, this only applies to reservations for Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. Critically, Disney notes that this newfound availability is not the result of increased capacity for the parks, but instead that they have shifted these openings from other groups that were unclaimed, such as general ticket holders and guests with Disney Resort reservations. The email that was sent to pass holders also made clear that they can make park pass reservations for the length of any resort stay, in addition to 3 days without a resort reservation. Lastly, Disney is upping the merchandise discount for pass holders to 30% at Disney-owned and operated merchandise locations through August 14th. In some intriguing and, dare I say, out-of-this-world news from this week, Michael Glazier, who has most recently served as president and managing director of Disney Parks International, has announced that he'll be leaving the company to become CEO of Virgin Galactic. There, Glazier will oversee the company as they prepare for commercial space travel operations. In turn, previous Virgin Galactic CEO George Whitesides has now been named Chief Space Officer. Yes, this is real. In a statement, Glazier said, "I'm thrilled to join the talented team at Virgin Galactic at this inflection point in the company's journey. Like so many others, including hundreds of signed-up customers, I've been inspired by this purpose-driven, world-class brand and the incredible opportunity it offers to open space to change the world for good. Regarding Disney, he went on to say, "On a personal note, I'd like to thank my friends and colleagues at Disney, especially Bob Chapek for his mentorship and guidance over the years, and Josh D'Amaro, who is bringing superb leadership to Disney's park experiences and products." With Cole Glazier's departure, Jill Estorino will step into his former role. Estorino has been with Disney for 29 years and was most recently Executive Vice President, Global Marketing and Sales for Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. As chairman of Disney Parks Josh D'Amaro said, Jill is known as an innovative and dynamic leader, and she'll bring her nearly 30 years of Disney experience to guide our international parks into the future. Speaking of international parks, one Disney theme park has been forced to once again close its gate less than a month after reopening. As required by the government and health authorities, Hong Kong Disneyland halted operations on July 15th and will remain closed until further notice. However, the Hong Kong Disneyland Resort hotels will remain open with adjusted levels of services for the time being. The park had previously reopened on June 18th with the safety measures we've seen Disney implement at other parks. With the resort stating that they are in contact with health authorities and the government about the situation, hopefully we'll have more updates soon. Those who have been anxiously awaiting the debut of the Howard Ashman documentary, Howard, will soon be able to see the film for themselves. This week, Disney Plus announced that the documentary will begin streaming exclusively on the platform starting August 7th. Featuring never-before-seen archival footage, personal films and photographs, as well as interviews with Howard's friends and family, the film is an intimate look at the Disney legend's life, his creative drive, and the process behind the music. You may have actually heard about this project when director Don Hahn was a guest on Disney Coast to Coast way back in 2017. Therefore, it's very exciting that this film is finally reaching so many fans. I have seen a chunk of this film and it is fantastic. I have been waiting for a long time to see the rest of it, and I am super excited that it's finally heading to Disney Plus. Continuing the theme of long-in-the-works films making their way to Disney Plus, Magic Camp, which was first announced in 2016 for a theatrical release, will start streaming on August 14th. The film, which stars Adam Devine, Jeffrey Tambor, and Gillian Jacobs, features a group of misfit campers helping a down-on-his-luck magician rediscover his love of magic, in a movie described as a heartwarming comedy about finding joy and confidence and self-acceptance. Unless it disappears again, you can catch Magic Camp on Disney Plus next month. It seems that the finale of The Clone Wars wasn't quite the end, as a spin-off of the animated series has just been announced. Star Wars: The Bad Batch will be coming to Disney Plus sometime in 2021. Star Wars mega-producer Dave Filoni is teaming up with other regular contributors to the franchise to bring this series to the platform. Agnes Chu, Senior Vice President for the content on Disney Plus, said, "Giving new and existing fans the final chapter of Star Wars: The Clone Wars has been our honor at Disney Plus, and we are overjoyed by the global response to this landmark series. While The Clone Wars may have come to its conclusion, our partnership with the groundbreaking storytellers and artists at Lucasfilm Animation is only the beginning. We are thrilled to bring Dave Filoni's vision to life through the next adventures of the Bad Batch." So, Star Wars fans should keep an eye out for more on this new series in the coming months. In some literal weird but true news, the National Geographic show Weird But True is now set to become a Disney Plus original series. The third season of the program will premiere on the streamer August 14th, giving parents a fun way to enrich their kids' lives with a series that's as fun as it is educational. The Weird But True television series began in 2016 on National Geographic, inspired by the popular book series of the same name. This time around, series regular Charlie Engelman returns with a new co-host, fellow children's entertainer and educator Carly Ciaracci. With the first 2 seasons of Weird But True already streaming, families can get an early start binging the show before the next season arrives next month. With Disney looking to reboot the classic Home Alone film franchise, the studio has reportedly added a trio of cast members to the project. According to Deadline, Kenan Thompson, Ally Mackey, and Chris Parnell have come aboard. They joined previously announced cast including Archie Yates, Rob Delaney, and Ellie Kemper, as well as director Dan Mazer. Meanwhile, the script was co-written by SNL's Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel. No release date for the film has been announced just yet, and production has halted along with most of Hollywood. Finally this week, when Dancing with the Stars returns to ABC for its latest ballroom competition, it will have a new host. This week it was announced that Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews will be leaving the show, with former America's Next Top Model star Tyra Banks taking the reins. Additionally, Banks will become an executive producer on the program. With her arrival, the show is said to be taking a new creative direction. However, in a statement, Banks said, "I've been a fan of Dancing with the Stars since its beginning. The fun mixed with raw emotion, seeing celebrities push past their comfort zones, the sizzling dance performances, it's always transported me to days of turning it up 10 notches on the catwalk. Tom has set a powerful stage, and I'm excited to continue the legacy and put on my executive producer and hosting hats." Currently, the 29th season of Dancing with the Stars is set to step off this fall. That's going to do it for the news this week, so let's get to this week's Twitter poll where I asked you folks. It was recently announced that plans for Epcot's new Mary Poppins attraction and Spaceship Earth's update have both been postponed. Which postponement are you most disappointed by? And the final results were exactly even. 50% of you voted for Mary Poppins, and 50% of you voted for Spaceship Earth. Your one vote could have made the difference in this one and tipped it in your favor. So make sure you cast your vote in the Twitter poll every week by following Disney CTC on Twitter. That's DIZNEY CTC. And folks, if you haven't listened to this past Wednesday's episode of Disney Coast to Coast, be sure to check it out as we celebrated the 65th anniversary of Disneyland by looking back at anniversaries of yesteryear. And on this upcoming Wednesday's episode, it's the return of prime time at the parks. Which Disney Vacation sitcom will we be discussing? All I'll say is TGIF fans will be very happy, and tune in to find out. The easiest way to make sure you don't miss any of the magic is by subscribing to Disney Coast to Coast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Wherever you search, don't forget it's Disney with a Z, Coast to Coast. And as always, if you'd like to receive Disney Coast to Coast bonuses and support the show at the same time, be sure to check out patreon.com/DisneyCTC. That's patreon.com/DisneyCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.